And good evening, everybody out there. Welcome to another edition of the WyoNation Roundup. I am your host, Chad Smith, and tonight I am joined by Mr. Shea Foster. Good evening, Shea.
Good evening. How are you?
Doing great. Good to see you. I'm happy to talk some athletics, and of course, you can see his vest there. Some Wyoming wrestling's got a lot going on. Looking at their duel last weekend and looking forward to the one coming this weekend. So lots to talk about: basketball, wrestling, football. So let's just dive right into it. And I guess Shay will we'll start with the basketball. Basketball,
Yeah.
a little bit of a rough stretch, back-to-back defeats in completely two different styles. I don't know if you were able to catch either of the games, but what are your thoughts
Uh, I
there?
watched the first half last night just because the East Coast time. This isn't a knock on Sunny. It's just a little
Yeah,
later out here. But even, I guess if you go back to even the Air Force game on the road, they were rusty. And then they got the win, though. I mean, Air Force is always a tough place to play. And what I noticed last night is San Diego State is very aggressive on defense. I mean, very aggressive. They're
hmm
aggressive with their help defense. And Wyoming had it's kind of like that Air Force 2-3 zone back in the day where the good Wyoming teams had a hard time breaking it.
yeah,
That last night they had the opportunity to break that defense if they could have hit a couple of corner threes, and you would have pulled San Diego State out of that. But they missed on so many of those opportunities that I think the game just kind of got away from them a little bit. I mean, they had like 15 more shots than San Diego State. It wasn't like they didn't have opportunities, but
yeah,
I guess
a
it's
very
not
poor
dropping. It's
shooting
not
night.
dropping. Yeah.
Yeah, worst shooting percentage I think of the season so far in that game. So, which was completely different than the road loss at Nevada over the weekend, to where that was. I mean, that was a great basketball game. Both teams getting at it, up and down, high scoring. And the Nevada game, they just refused to play defense.
I don't know what's going on because they looked fine. I mean, minus the flu game, and that's I mean everybody had the flu. That
hmm
I forget who they had played, but they looked good on defense. Like that's where they were generating a lot of offense on the games. I would rewatch if I had time, and
Yeah,
I thought last night they looked, pretty good for the first 10 minutes. Then the game kind of got away from them, and then the second half I watched a little bit at the beginning. I was like, oh, they look good. Here comes the run, right? And then it just spiraled out of control. And then maybe Sonny's comments today that they weren't tough and they got hit in the mouth and they didn't want to get back up off the mat after that.
yeah. Some pretty pointed comments from him yesterday, even saying, "I don't know game to game if we're going to show up." Something to that
Yeah.
effect is what he said, and so that's a little disheartening. And I think that's probably right, just public talk to
Yeah.
hit the right buttons with the players.
Sonny's clearly got you see him on the bench, he coaches every player differently, so he's got a relationship.
Sure,
Some
100%.
guys he's like in it. He's like belt to ass and
Yeah,
he is in it. He is in it. And
yeah,
other guys don't respond to that, and I'm not saying, and this isn't a knock like on the little league coaches, but when I coached hockey, same thing. You have 20 kids and
hey,
you can't coach 20
hey,
kids the same way.
little league coaches don't know squat. As we've been reminded by
Yeah.
last couple football coaches. So let's be
Uh,
careful there.
yeah, but I I think it hurts Sonny when his team isn't playing because in practice I think they're showing stuff
Mhm.
and it's just not translating. And it was a good crowd last night. I think the crowd, their marketing campaign paid off.
Yeah,
So
I
kudos to the
think the biggest
university.
crowd of the season, and disappointing, right, to lose, because there's a good chance some of those people may not come back now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The swimming and dive team may have brought enough juice for the fans to come back. They looked good. It looked good on TV to have the student section with that energy. And
Mhm.
losing is going to happen. And I know Brian was probably expecting maybe this is where they were at.
I think
Um,
so. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Brian is out this week, of course, but I'm sure he'll have some talks. And so, yeah, just looking at the standings, I think we are kind of where we thought we were, as we talked a little about last week. Right, Sonny said, "Hey, I didn't get you guys a good enough of a non-con to get you ready for Mountain West play, and I think maybe we're seeing that. I think we have some talent, but we obviously have some glaring needs that need to get
Yeah.
fixed. I think our biggest problem, at least for me, in terms of balance, is we just don't have a complete, like, post player right now. And that's kind of the problem. And that's I think Gavin Gore's gonna be a great player, but as a true freshman stepping into the Mountain West, you can see, right? I mean, he needs to put on some weight, get some muscle, and he'll do that,
Yeah.
right? I guarantee you next fall, he's gonna look like a completely different person. But he's banging against guys who are outweighing him, 20, 30, 40 pounds down low. Same thing with Magassa. He's got the physical body. It's just I don't know. He plays
He
good
may
defense.
lack some. He may lack some toughness.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah.
But and then you got Saxon again, a guy that brought in a glue guy, a hustle guy.
Got to
Again,
have him.
you got to have those guys, but they shouldn't be playing as many minutes as he is, right? So I think if they can find like a post player they could rely on to, hey, you're going to post this guy up and he's going to score and he can play defense, right? A two-way player where you're not having to sub out that position, offense, defense.
Yeah.
And I think that will really make the team click just to have some down low scoring ability, because then that opens up for our guards who are generally playing really well.
Yeah, and I don't think it helped Leland Walker decided he was going to have his foul night. That guy is so.
Yeah.
I'm going to crush it, or I'm going to get 3 fouls early and really put our team in a bad spot. And he's got a lot of passion. I don't know. I watched the Allen Edwards years where teams would just lose, and those last couple of Lindor years where guys didn't really want to be on the court. I'm not saying losing is great. This team is losing at least with some heart. Like they're putting effort in. So who knows? Maybe they turn it around. Maybe they get like one win, and then they start, that weird, like, hey, we got it now. We got this figured out. So
Maybe, yeah. And obviously San Diego State, very good team, right? Light years ahead of us. Nevada's got a good program too. So on the road, that's not a big deal. But yeah, looking at the standings right now, to date, we've lost to everybody we've played who's above us.
Yeah.
Except for UNLV. And then below us to date, the only team we've played who's below us is Air Force, which we've beaten. And so now we have a stretch here. We have Fresno State on the road on Saturday. They have the same conference record as us, so that's going to be a good test. And then Boise comes to town, and they're actually 1-5.
Cool. They're on tilt. They are on tilt. Something is going on in that program.
Yeah.
They just got beat by UNLV, and they got their brakes beat off them by every team they've played.
So I think you have to get a split in these next two, I think, or things could go really south quickly. So we'll see, right? They're going to have an opportunity here to play some teams they haven't played yet. Let me get back to I had the schedule over here. So yeah, and then we got San Jose State, which is a team we hasn't played. So they got 3 winnable games coming up.
Yeah, and this is the opportunity, right? Like, grab some wins, and they don't have. I mean, we want UNLV wins, but hell, if one game you're scoring 50 points, and the next one you're scoring 85, just win.
Yeah.
So,
and that was I guess the encouraging thing about the Nevada game was, if you look at our home versus road splits, that's been our problem. We're scoring like 20 points less a game on the road than at home. And in the Nevada game, right, they hit their mark. They're in the 80s. So again, nothing to be, I think, upset about. It's just where we are as a program. We're in a complete rebuild. And so hopefully, right, enough of these guys will stick around next year where you're not doing a rebuild, that you're building on the foundations that they've set. So
yeah, I consider this Sonny's first year. Last year wasn't really fair to Sonny.
Sure, I could buy that.
I would just say this is really Sonny's first year.
Yeah, that was year 0. You hear that in coaching terms sometimes.
Yeah, year -1 because the guy had like 1 week to recruit. So, I think the program's on the right direction. I enjoy watching Sonny coach. I enjoy the passion. So I think they'll be okay, and they're probably where I think Brian thought they were going to be, and I take Brian's opinion on it pretty well. So.
Yeah. So yeah, Brian will probably be back next week, and by then we'll have 2 more games in the books, and we'll see what he thinks
Yep.
what's going on. So, but hopefully, right, 2 games or 3 coming up here, 2 at home, 1 on the road, where they should be competitive, have a chance to win. So, hopefully they step up and play some team basketball, play some defense, and right, take to what Sonny's trying to teach them.
Yep.
So, all right, that's about all we will go with there for basketball. But Shea, wrestling was
Yep.
kind of an interesting moment. They had a pretty successful duel over the weekend, and they have something coming up this weekend. So, yeah, kind of give me what happened last weekend and then what we're going to be looking forward to here.
Well, yeah, they headed out. So there, I'm trying not to be too mean to the coaches' rankings. There's because they had Wyoming Wyoming fell out of the rankings, and their only losses are to the 1, 2, and 7 team in the country. So if somebody can explain that one to me,
That's
but
pretty harsh, really.
yeah,
So our 3 losses are to top 10 teams.
yeah, the 1 and 2, and
Yeah,
then 7. So
yeah,
I was frustrated, and Utah Valley had upset Stanford earlier in the year, and I said, "Oh man, Adam Hall has this program on the rise." There's still a lot of unknowns with Wyoming wrestling. Like we don't know who's who, right? And Wyoming went out. Jared Hill hasn't had probably a very good season in his what he's capable of. Goes out, gets a win. Sloan Swan loses a match he probably should have won. Riley Davis gets a win. Eddie Knightenbach gets a win, and then Gunnar Henry, who's a true freshman, comes in and tech falls their 197. Now it
nice.
wasn't the starter, but that guy's a senior. Gunnar's a true freshman.
Yeah, it's a big
You
mismatch.
know, yeah. Carroll comes in, gets his win, and then you get Isaiah Harrison, another true freshman, scores a win, and he dominated the match on Bridger Rick. And this is a knock. I'm a big Bridger Ricks fan, but he just looked really good. I was like, man, this guy's got it going on. And then another true freshman gets a win, and then Gabe Willishell at 149, who hasn't had like the best start to his year. Tech Falls, the number 10 wrestler, like just looks way better. And so
Mhm.
you're like, oh man, this team is looking good. There was no Joey Novak. I know he was at Utah Valley, but he didn't go. And according to the weekly notes, he's not. I don't know if we're going to see him against South Dakota State. So I don't know if it's an injury, but or maybe South Dakota State's not bringing their starters. So why would you throw Joey out if
Sure,
they're
if
not
he's
bringing their?
battling some type
Yeah,
of minor
if
injury. Yeah.
yeah, you know the same thing with Utah Valley. Utah Valley's guy is like number 27, but they didn't put him out there. So why would you? It's it makes no sense, right?
It's a
So,
no-win situation, right? Because if you beat them, yeah, so what?
but if you lose, then oh, oh
Yeah,
boy.
exactly. Yep.
But yeah, now Coach Branch had a really good interview, and kudos to Bud. He's done some really good interviews weekly with Branch now on the Wyoming Twitter and all their social medias.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay, that's something to
Yeah,
watch for.
yeah. So get on there. He talks to Branch every week, and they talk about. And I think the boys are happy to be home. You know, it's
Yeah.
been over a month.
Mhm.
You know, and it's really their first duel at home. You know, he had Penn State, but there was nothing before that. And
Sure.
now you're on the duel. And this season, Wyoming's got a lot of home duels. So hopefully the UNOYO is packed, and they're giving out a bobblehead of Coach Branch for marketing. So
That's cool.
you
Yeah.
know, hopefully it was cool to see the swimming and dive team support the basketball team so well. Hopefully that translates. And I know basketball will be on the road, so they probably won't make it unless they charter that flight. But it'd be cool to see maybe the women's basketball
Yeah.
team and
We've
swim
got
and
other
diving.
sports, right? I mean,
Yeah.
at least when I was at UW, I think most of the other teams did, they were at the games,
Yeah. Just
A lot
pop
of
in.
different sports out there. So, yeah, hopefully they will get out there to support the guys, especially with it being
Now.
winter and indoor sport, obviously. So,
Yeah. 1 p.m. too. So it's prime time. And if you're in Laramie, I wish they would black this out. The stream is free on the thank you to Berman and Branch who made this happen, that the stream is free on the Mountain West app. So you can
nice.
watch the duel for free on the
Mhm.
Mountain West app. So kudos to Berman and Branch and whoever else made that happen. That's a big deal. You don't have to pay for a Flow subscription that you get to
Great.
watch the duel for free.
Okay. No, that's good information to know because I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't know who will be on the call. It's usually former Wyoming wrestling guys, so they're kind of funny to listen to,
Mm-hmm.
telling stories. So I encourage everybody to to watch it if you can.
All right. So yeah. So South Dakota State, you said, right?
Number 8, so they beat Minnesota, who's a top 10 program,
Oh
and their
wow.
125 took out Jory Volk, who obviously a former Cowboy at Minnesota
Yeah.
now. He beat Jory, so kind of hope that Sefton, or if they throw Isaiah back out there, kind of pulls the upset over that guy to be like, well, maybe we're going to miss Jory. It's just a joke. It would be funny to be like, well, we found somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So, but hopefully it's a rocking atmosphere. And one thing I wish, and I know Wyoming's president's on the way out, the Utah Valley president was sitting on the bench with the wrestlers with a pom pom cheering on those wrestlers. So I know the president of Wyoming's on his way out, so maybe we'll see Berman on the bench with a pom pom. I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool to see some administrators maybe more vocal. I think they're there just I guess maybe more vocal.
To say, hey, come out. Yeah.
Yeah. So or just be on the bench. That'd be kind of fun. So we need a Bruce Pearl with the fan base, I guess.
There we go.
So, but I'm
Maybe they
excited.
should just hire you. You could be the hype man.
I could, I'll be live next Saturday in West Virginia for the duel.
There we go. That's true. Yeah.
So maybe I'll get Brad's Twitter handle and I can put out updates.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We could probably make that happen on the mothership
yeah.
if you talk to
So
him.
if you guys are there, if you're in Laramie or Cheyenne, make the drive over if the weather's good. I'm not telling you to do if the weather's bad, but I would say support this team because they're on the up and up, contrary to the coaches wrestling rankings. And so Utah Valley, you'll love this. Utah Valley was ranked the same as Wyoming in the coaches poll.
Okay.
Wyoming beats them 29-6. Wyoming loses a vote in the coaches poll. So somebody can explain it to me. I don't know. Maybe they
didn't watch for some reason, right?
So I don't think they're doing. It's frustrating because those rankings matter when it comes to the RPI at the end of the season. They're not doing their homework. And Alex Taylor had something on this where he stay up for hours for the top 25 for football, and then some other voting member goes, "I just vote randomly." And you're like, well,
of course, yeah.
These matter, do an hour of homework.
Yeah. No, I don't envy those people who have to vote, but if you're going to have a vote, I mean, take it serious.
Yeah. So
sure.
Adam, I'll do a shout out. Adam Engel on Wyo Sports has done really good coverage for wrestling. Follow him on Twitter. He had a really good story with Gabe. His dad even said it put a tear in his eyes. So make sure you read those stories because Adam's doing a great job.
Yeah, no, he is. He's banging out all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
With the program, and that's what they brought him in for. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and he is partnered with Flow Wrestling, which is like the big wrestling. He does do stories for them, and it's kind of like we have an insider for Flow now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool. So make sure you support him if you haven't started.
Nice. All right. So yeah. So good stuff there. And we'll see what happens over the weekend as they're back for kind of like their first, like you said, their first real duel, because the one against Penn State was obviously like, I don't know, do they use in wrestling, do they use the term like a glamour duel? I mean, that's basically what it was, right?
Yeah, Kale brought his family from Utah. Like a lot of his family was there, and during his interview he said there's not a lot of wrestling teams out west, and I kind of want to support that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it was a glamour duel, but Wyoming got some wins. The wrestlers went out to dinner afterwards, and kids sat with the wrestlers at restaurants. So I think that's like a win, even though they got destroyed in the duel on the team score. That's how you get fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you keep a fan base going for generations and stuff like that. So thanks to Coach Sanderson. I don't think he watches our podcast, but thanks for the university because they did a great job of forcing fans to sit in the lower bowl and make that an environment that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So. For sure. So, all right, we'll take a little break here to Welcome everybody in. I see you on YouTube and Twitter. Good numbers tonight. Glad for you to join us. Hit that subscribe button if you're here so you get alerts. We try to be on every Wednesday. We weren't on last night, obviously, for the basketball game. So we're here on a Thursday. And then also be sure to check out if you miss the live stream. Right, you could always catch the replay on YouTube, but we do have a podcast version of the show now on all the major platforms. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, you name it. You just look for it. It's the WyoNation Roundup, same name as this YouTube show. And you'll get the audio version of this on a weekly basis, to listen to on your drive to work or while you're on the treadmill at gym and all that good stuff. So that is another way you can support the show, is to hit that subscribe button on your podcast feed. And if for some reason you can't find us in your particular podcast feed, let us know and we'll make sure that we get there.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, today is the 15th of January, Shea. And do you know what tomorrow is?
It's the end of transfer season.
That's right. It's the last day to enter the transfer portal. So, we'll see what happens there. It's been a quiet week for Wyoming in terms of exits, and we'll see, right? We might have a couple tomorrow, right? Because it's the last day. Maybe some guys are on the fence and, they're talking to their position coach and they're talking to Savell. So it wouldn't surprise me if we had another one or two go in, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we had nobody. I keep forgetting to check this. Do we know when classes start at UW?
It's probably next week.
Okay. Probably.
So you got to basically get them in this weekend and enrolled.
Maybe, and I don't know when the drop dead. Usually, like a drop dead date is like maybe like a week after.
Yeah.
If somebody knows, let us know. Or you could look up the academic calendar really quick if you want to.
Yeah, they have one kid coming in, an offensive lineman. They have him coming in from Northern Arizona.
Okay, yeah, no, I read that story. I saw that on Twitter. So, that's one guy we know is coming in. Sure.
It sounds like they're kind of having some quiet guys come in. Like after the signing today, that guy was,
wasn't known. So I think they might have another one or two guys who have signed. They just haven't announced for whatever reason. But we'll dig into this here.
Next week is the first week of classes.
Okay, so classes start Monday, and then like a registration drop dead date is
the 26th.
Okay.
26th and 29th, yeah.
Okay. So again, if someone's coming in the portal, we're going to know about it really soon, and then you're going to know your football roster. So good thing, because right, there's no more spring transfer portal to where you could add guys in the spring and summer. We do have a chat here, maybe. Nope.
It's not pop up. Yeah, it kind of went away.
It went away. But here's a thing. I don't know if you've heard about this, and then we'll go into the players. But in terms of rule-wise, like some people on national shows I've heard talking about that there still is kind of like a loophole to where you may not enter the transfer portal, but you can still leave your school and then go to another school. I don't know how we would see that, where you would think it would be a form of tampering or something, right? To have a guy, not enroll for the next year and then pop up on another team in the fall. But that's something to keep an eye out of over the sport, just to see, right, who can figure out that loophole to get that to work, perhaps.
I don't. Maybe they're confused, or maybe they're just a play on words where guys will enter the portal, but it says "do not contact." So the kid's already made the decision, because I think you have to enter the portal.
That's how I view it too. But I keep hearing these guys saying, "Well, this won't stop kids from moving if they decide to quit their school. How can the NCAA stop them from enrolling somewhere else?" I don't know.
I don't. I think we're. I think they're trying to find a loophole. I don't think that one's. Maybe. But I think the players supported this too.
I don't know. So we'll see. It's just, I throw it out there because I've heard about it, and I'm like, well, how would that work? Yeah. I'm sure we'll hear about it. Somebody somewhere is going to try it.
Yep.
That they're going to, after spring ball, they're going to be, further down the depth chart than they want. and they're just going to say, that's fine. I'm going to just quit and then try to enroll somewhere else and make the NCAA tell me I can't.
The only thing I can think of, the only way I think this is plausible is if they're not on scholarship, if they're a walk-on.
Maybe, yeah.
I think you could do it that way,
I don't know.
but I don't know. I'm sure there's some agent out there that will find the loophole, and I
Yeah.
say agent loosely because they're not
Sure.
real people.
They're not real agents. They're swindlers.
They are definitely they're used car salesmen outside a military base for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's pop up the old from WyoNation here, WyoNation.com, of course, where we host our great content. Let me make sure that we get on the right dang thing here. Here we are. So here's the portal. Closes the 16th. Well, the portal doesn't close, but entering closes, right? You
Yep.
can join a school at any time, but most players are joining, right? There's this artificial deadline like we just talked about to where you have to get registered at the school you want to be in so you could participate in spring ball, right? Because it makes no sense to transfer and then miss spring ball. You wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So 14 editions so far. The last week, I think the last one that came on board was Logan Mackey, so we can start talking about the rest of these guys. Shea. Again, I don't know a whole lot about these guys. I haven't dug into them. But defensive end was obviously a target for Wyoming. You got Donnie Wingate, a defensive end from Southern Illinois. Then they came in and got a lawn snapper from North Alabama, Nathan
That one
Curry.
was weird. That one's because you have a redshirt long snapper on the program already.
Yeah.
So
Sure, but I mean, we knew that, right? Savell was blaming the block punt game against UNLV on the lawn snapper. So,
I mean, you got to take his word at it. It's just weird. We had a kid redshirting as a long snapper, and we're bringing one in. So
sure. So maybe that's a sign that they're not happy with his development, right?
Yep.
Very interesting one here. Anthony Beavers, a linebacker from USC, was a 4-star high school recruit, started his career at USC as a safety, and then moved to linebacker. He's played, but, sparingly. So he's a guy who, has some talent and might be able to step right in athletically from the Mountain West. So that's a guy to keep an eye on as one of the few guys coming from a named school.
They had 2 power forward I discussed this with somebody on Twitter, and Ryan Thorburn had brought it up too, is there was 2 P4 signings. And I think that's 2 to 3 is probably the limit for Wyoming in this era. And I think that's okay because they've generally hit on their P4 transfers.
Yes and no, and we'll talk about that. I didn't bring my exact list, but we'll talk more big picture stuff, so that's good. Elsewhere, a running back, much needed, Markel Holman, Western Illinois. He rushed for 1,000 yards last year for the FCS school. He has an interesting thing. He's been at Wyoming will be his 4th school in 4 years. And he's worked his way up the ladder. Like I think he was at a Division III school and then went to a Division II school and then went to an FCS school and now he's at an FBS school.
Well, I thought you meant like 4 different, like Kelman, but that's a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. So I think that's his story. I know he started at D2 and then went to FCS, but I'm pretty sure his first school I looked up, I'm pretty sure it was a Division III and then he went to Division II. So that's pretty amazing to play at. Just working your way up the ladder every year is a testament to him and his work, right?
Yeah, good for him.
Jaquan Redfern, a defensive tackle from Murray State, looks to have some good size. Here's another interesting one. Chandler Donaway from East Texas A&M. I've not even heard of that school.
It's a Southland school.
He's a guy too who I think he started somewhere FBS and then went to FCS and then went down to East Texas A&M, which I think is Division II.
No, they're FCS.
Are they FCS? Okay.
The FCS in the Southland Conference.
Okay, gotcha. So, and then a guy from the Ivy League. How about this? Thaddeus, I'm guessing it's Gianaris.
Yeah.
From Dartmouth. Another defensive end who looked to be pretty productive. I think he was all conference in the Ivy League.
I will say, Coach Savell has brought this up. I just want guys that can play. All the guys on the list either in high school, they got hurt at FBS, like Jet Vincent has been hurt at Colorado State.
Yeah.
But his stats in high school, you're like, this kid can play.
Yeah,
Like
we
he's
talked
always
about
around
him
the
last
ball.
week. He played 8-man football in Kansas, and I think he holds the all-time record in tackles.
So he's around the ball. He can find the ball.
Yeah.
And Wyoming signed another. And I said Wyoming needed another safety, and everybody said they're done. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I would call this out. I was right, and Wyoming got another safety. I want to put this out to all the other media that said I was wrong. I'm right. Wyoming signed another safety.
You're not petty, are you? Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't add this to the list because I didn't see it. I updated this just before the show, didn't check to see if we signed anybody, and it was a safety from Jacksonville State.
Yep.
Something junior. I remember he's a junior.
He's yeah.
You have his name?
Not off the top of my head, but Jacksonville State's been on the up and up. Rich Rodriguez, when he coached there, had that program like humming because they were making the move from FCS.
Let me grab his name here really quick.
Yeah.
It is Travis Franklin Jr.
Yeah.
Safety from Jacksonville State. So that puts Wyoming, I guess, at what, 18 or is it 15? What do I have on my list here? 15. And I think there are a couple more silent ones, according to Cody Tucker. He reported that there are some silent commits that we don't know about yet. But yeah, the interesting thing here is we only have 3 guys who come from FBS football. The rest are all FCS and lower. And again, that's an interesting strategy, but I don't know if you notice, Shea, everybody's pretty much going that way now. You're seeing SEC schools signing like Division II guys and FCS guys. So I think people are just looking for talent. And so,
Arizona State had a few D2 guys that like exploded on the scene. You had Braden Johnson for Wyoming.
Yeah, they were kind of the Kickstarters of this, and they're the ones who told Savell had a conversation with Dillingham. And Dillingham told him, get the guys from these lower schools who are hungry. And that's what we've done last year and this year. So I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying it's what a lot of other schools have decided to do as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the kid from Jack State didn't have like good stats, so I don't know if he was hurt or maybe he's just an athlete and Wyoming's bringing him in just to because he's athletic.
So so up to 15. And here's the thing. So I went over the past couple years of the portal, and really, right, most schools, it's a 50% hit rate of guys who are going to come in and actually contribute. So they're bringing in these guys, but some of these guys, right, they're not going to do anything, unfortunately. But Wyoming really needs a lot. I mean, they have to hit on half, and if they can hit on more than half, that's going to be great. But
they bid 100% on the offensive line, or they're screwed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Nebraska guy has to come in and play well, obviously. The quarterback obviously has to come in. Like, if he comes in and can't play, I mean, we're in big, big trouble.
He's good. I've watched him in person.
Yeah, no, and his film looks good. And, of course, we talked about last week, he's going to know the system, having been recruited by our current OC. I think Siddons can play. He could block. He's a blocking tight end. He'll come in, sit away. Vincent can play if he can stay healthy. And then you got some question marks, like some of these guys here who are good players in FCS. They should be able to step in, and most of them are seniors, right? So physically they should be okay. We talked about this last week. I don't know if you saw, Shea. This Logan Mackey guy.
Yeah.
He had like a 89 grade from PFF.
Why is he at Wyoming? That's not, I mean.
That's how good he played last year. And I mean, and like an 89 grade is like all-American level.
In the Big Sky. That's a good conference.
Yeah. So he's a guy who you have to hit on, like these corners, right? These corners have to hit. They have to hit on the quarterback. They have to hit on the offensive line, and they have to hit on a couple of these DNs.
Yeah, because the linebacker, they could hit on one and miss on the other and be okay. Because I think the linebacker room, Coach Bull, has those guys on a
I
pretty
think
good
Beavers will be a
trajectory.
hit because he's been in the rotation there at USC.
I wonder why he came to, and I know Cody Tucker has a story on it. I haven't read it yet. It's just I'm always surprised when guys like that come to Laramie. And maybe they're like, you know
Play.
what? I just want to play. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to play. In the running back, right? He needs to be productive too.
He's got to hit. Can't just be the tote her show.
Because Wyoming very unproven and undersized too. Like the rest of the running backs we have are small guys. Even Tote, right? Isn't? Oh, is he? I mean,
he's decent size.
Is he like
220? It'd be nice if Demaji Harris would have hit last year because that guy's massive.
Mm-hmm. So an interesting mix of guys here. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about some of the guys who have found homes. I don't think this was official last week when we recorded, but Kelman's going to Liberty, which is an interesting choice.
And they just signed another running back.
Did they? Luke Sandy is going to Charlotte, which I find very weird.
That I'm super confused by that transfer entry.
It's very odd.
I'm super confused by him and Wes King.
Yes.
Because they split time at left guard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Luke wants to get into the IT industry or the insurance industry, Charlotte's a great place to get into it. But I mean, I wish him all the best. Charlotte's an up and coming program, so maybe he wanted to be a starter. I don't know.
Yeah, hard to say. And then I think the only other one, and is probably one of the most newsworthy ones, of course, is, well, we didn't talk about this last week because I don't think it happened yet, but Tyrese Boss went to Arizona.
Yeah.
Which is, a Power 4 school for him. But Caden Anderson is finding a home at Tarleton State.
Former Wyoming OC. Dana Dimmel's OC is his coach now.
Yeah.
So, hey, I wonder if Justin Taylor was asked to leave.
It's possible.
It's weird that he enters the transfer portal and now he's at Central, a MAC school.
Yeah, and he's from Wisconsin, so
yeah, maybe he just wanted to be closer to home. Yeah,
so maybe he wanted to be closer to home. So Central Michigan there. I don't think any of these other guys have signed. If I missed something, let me know. It's hard to track all this.
Merritt was taking some visits to some FCS schools, so I don't know if he signed, but I knew he was getting interest from those schools.
But that is our current list right there. So
I think that's kind of minus Merritt. I don't know if any of those other guys sign.
Yeah. So we'll see. They'll find homes, obviously. Well, maybe not, obviously, right? That's the problem. Some of these guys they won't find a better opportunity than Wyoming, which is too bad, right? Because they've probably been told by some agent, hey, I can get you some money to play here. And then, the musical chairs, the music stops and there's no chair and there's no bag of money on that chair.
Yeah.
And you're sitting on a beanbag chair going to an FCS school.
Not even FCS. These guys are going to end up at D2 because there's not going to be any homes for them.
Yeah. So interesting there. So so that's where the portal kind of stands. But yeah, the big things I wanted to get across is, right, hopefully we hit on as many of these guys as possible, but history says you're going to get a 50% hit rate, and it may be smaller because, right, I mean, some of these guys, I mean, how well do you know these guys? Unless you were recruiting them in high school, it's speed dating. And how many, if you're doing speed dating, you usually don't make good choices.
Yeah, I don't. I think Wyoming had maybe a little bit bigger opportunity. The guy's stats are good, right? So you think they're going to hit. And I guess what's our definition of hit? Do they go out there and they're not a liability?
Yeah, I'm talking about, I mean, you're bringing a guy in a portal, you're expecting that guy to play, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, especially if you're bringing in a guy who's a senior or a grad transfer who's only got 1 year left. You're expecting them to be maybe not a starter, but at the very least, your backup.
Yeah.
In a rotation, right? So that's how I kind of viewed the hits. I looked at it and I go, did this guy show up? Did he play? And it's kind of 50-50.
Yeah. I mean,
So
or maybe some of these guys turn into Eller and are like, "Hey, I'm not ready to play. I'll redshirt, and then I'll turn into
yeah,
a
and that could happen
superstar."
too, and maybe they do need to look at that more, maybe, but again, if you're transferring up, that's where the coaches would probably have to sell that, but that's something you might see.
I mean, you had the kid from Snow College, the cornerback. We didn't see him all last year, and he redshirted. So
Yeah,
maybe he's
true,
the
coming
Eller this year.
coming from the JUCO.
Yeah.
Um, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. The coaches at the meeting passed a interesting rule that they're gonna try to get the NCAA to vote on to change the redshirt criteria. Did you see that?
Yeah. 9 games.
Yeah,
What are
I
we
mean,
doing?
why not, right? I don't mind
Just
it.
just 5 for 5 it and call it a day.
I think that's where they'll get eventually, and maybe that's why the coaches did it, is just to get the NCAA because the NCAA has discussed this idea. They tabled it,
Yeah.
um, and maybe so the coaches are trying to put some pressure on them by saying, "Okay, well, then give us 9." But
Yeah.
I think eventually you'll get a 5 for 5 because in the transfer portal era, it makes 0 sense to redshirt people because you're not gonna develop them for you, you're gonna develop them for somebody else,
Yep.
and that hurts Wyoming. Right? Wyoming is one of the schools, a developmental school where it just makes no sense to redshirt people. If you have a player who can contribute in any type of fashion, you need to play them because there's no sense to save a year because you're not saving it for you. You're saving it for their next school
Yeah.
and maybe even the school after that, as we've seen, right? So,
They need to fix it sounds like schools are getting more on board this transfer randomly, like TJ Finley, the quarterback, is like on a 7th school or something. I think they got to come to an agreement. Like you can transfer once, the second time, unless your coach is let go,
it's a
it's not a free transfer. You're sitting out.
yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if that will ever happen because I think that they let it get too far down the road, and I
Yeah,
don't know if they could put the toothpaste back in the tube
yeah, I
legally.
get. Yeah,
But
we'll
I
see.
don't know.
We'll see, and maybe I think the revenue sharing actually helps probably smaller schools because it's going to cap some things for the bigger schools. So
Maybe.
we'll
I
see.
don't know. Yeah, same thing. Like you see Texas Tech, like how are they affording? They're going over the cap. And I've heard people nationally again say, Texas Tech is just going to do whatever they want to do and say, take us to court,
Yeah,
stop us from
and
spending 40 million.
then they'll lose in the playoffs anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I wish they would have maybe been a little bit more forward thinking because I think the NCAA was more forward thinking on this. It's the same complaints I think we've had with Wyoming on NIL. Just let's think about this, get it, find some middle ground on it,
Hmm.
and then most people will be like, all right, we're good with this. But you
Sure.
just let it go rampant, and now we're
Yeah.
in what we're in now. But
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe relationships are starting to play more in a factor as this comes on, where guys are like, "Hey, I left a good situation. I'm in a bad situation." So I will say Jay Savell said, "I'm going to fix the defense." He fixed the defense, so maybe he's going to fix the offense, and the OC is going to run an offense that looks like 2016 New Mexico, if it's anything like it was at William and Mary.
Yeah. And I've talked about it. It's going to be great. So, yeah, we could wrap up the show with 2 little quick hitters.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. If you are a Wyoming fan, I think tomorrow, not tomorrow. I think it's Friday already for me because I'm off tomorrow. So I'm viewing today. It's Friday, but Saturday, um, we need the Broncos to win so we can eliminate the Bills and homeboy can come back to Laramie and start his job and he'll be close, right? He won't even have to go back to Buffalo. He could just go straight up to Laramie.
Chad,
No.
nobody wants the Broncos to win. And Keith Kelly is a Broncos fan. I give him a hard time. I'm like, "You're a Josh Allen fan now." And he goes, "No, I'm a Broncos fan."
Yes. No, I was going to say that. I've gotten a lot of grief on Twitter because I posted that. I go,
Uh,
if you're a Broncos fan and you're going to root for the Bills or the Broncos, then you're not really a Broncos fan. You're a Josh Allen fanboy, which is fine. Just admit it.
yeah.
Just say, yeah, I'm a Josh Allen fanboy. I'm not. I hope the Broncos crush the Bills.
Well, you're gonna be upset. Maybe you're gonna be upset, crying on Sunday.
I could be, and I mean, and it could. It's the NFL, right? Any team could beat anybody. But I love these people who are like, "Oh, I'm a Broncos fan, but because they're playing Josh, I'm not going to root for him." And I'm like, "Well, then you're not a Broncos fan. You're a poser."
Yeah. You can root for both. Like when I did fantasy football, I had to root for a lot of teams because I needed guys to do well.
But yeah, I just thought of. I mean, if they beat them, if the Broncos, or I'll say when the Broncos beat the Bills, they can just get Christian Taylor. Just hope you packed an extra bag, buddy. You could just hop right on up to Laramie.
Jay's got an extra.
Get started, man.
Yeah, there's a couch for you in the high altitude facility. You can get used to it.
Yeah, I'm sure they could put him up in the. Has that switched over to University Hotel yet? The Hilton or whatever that.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, he could practice the cowboy walk every day.
Yeah.
But I don't. Are the coaches are in a dead period? I don't think they can contact anything right now.
I think it was only the dead period was only 3 days during the.
Oh, okay.
During the convention.
All right, so
yeah, dead period's over.
Come on, Christian.
There we go.
Yep. Yeah, we'll find you a realtor if you need one.
So it'd be good to get him to Laramie as soon as possible, I think.
Yeah.
And then I guess we'll finish up the show tonight. Last college football game of the year, obviously. Monday night, Indiana versus Miami. We haven't really talked about Indiana on the show at all, but I mean, what a
coach.
Like, I think this has got to be like a damn Yankees situation where he sold his soul to the devil. That's the only thing I can think of.
But that's how he was at JMU. He was a great coach. He took those JMU players to Indiana. But he set a foundation. That's what's so frustrating, I guess, with people like with the bowl stuff and the Savell stuff is he set a foundation at JMU. Now even though their coach just left, the coach coming in, which is the former Florida coach, is just going to continue it. The tradition is just going to continue.
We'll see. But yeah, I mean, obviously the guy who was there, who took over, had a great couple years, and now he's at UCLA.
Yeah.
And so no, they hired Napier, and we'll see if he can keep it going.
They're all upset out here right now because Virginia Tech canceled their game next year. So JMU has to go to San Diego State now. And they're all upset because Virginia Tech kept their game with Old Dominion next year, but the Old Dominion coach was the OC for James Franklin in the past. So Old Dominion's better recruiting than Harrisonburg. Harrisonburg might have a Buc-ee's. Old Dominion's got way more football talent around it. So,
but yeah, your thoughts on the game? I'll just say I think I don't think Miami has a chance. I think Indiana's just way too good.
I think Indiana wins like 48-13.
It could happen, yeah. The only thing Miami has going for them is they got like an 8th-year senior in Carson Beck. I mean, they're like, oh, he's picking these guys apart. And I go, he should, because he's like 25 years old.
He's like Winkle back in the day.
Yeah,
over at Florida State.
25-year-old quarterback playing against like 19-year-old kids.
Signetti's got it. He's got it made. Like, he understands the game. He schemes well. His coaches scheme well. I think Miami lucked out with that pick 6 against Ohio State. That set the tone for the game.
Yeah.
Indiana just is going to bring so much energy. I don't think Miami can keep up with it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for him.
Yeah. I hope Signetti wins. I want to see Indiana's like your G5 school winning the national title, so you're like
pretty much
you're rooting for them. Yeah. They have like probably the lowest budget in the Big Ten, so you're just rooting for them.
Oh, they got to be above Northwestern.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, they're not.
But they're still down there, yeah.
Yeah, they're not at Michigan's level. I know that.
So last college football game of the year, and we'll see what happens in this playoff. I haven't looked at the line or betting, but I just know that I placed a bet on the Indiana-Oregon game.
Yeah.
Because the over-under was like 49. And I was like, Indiana will get there by themselves. So I put like a huge bet on it, and it the over-under damn near hit in the first half. I was like, this is the easiest bet I'll ever make. So we'll see if Vegas screws up again and gives me hopefully I get like in a low 50s would be pretty good. I'd still take it. But actually,
I would take it. Yeah, I would take it. While you're looking that up, we can talk about the new transfer portal rules for basketball and wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Bring that up.
Yeah. Well, basketball is a 15-day window after the season now. No more of this. After the national title is when the portal opens, and same for wrestling. After all the season is done, then the portal opens. So I'm sure tampering is still going to happen in Cleveland this year for wrestling, but at least guys won't be jumping in the portal in the middle of it.
Yeah. So no, that is a good improvement because it was crazy last year, right? For basketball, you had like people going in the portal in the middle of the tournament. It's like, what's going on here? Let's see here. I'm trying to find the odds for this here. If it will load for me. It's just very slow. Here we go. Indiana minus 7.5. That seems like free money to me.
Yeah.
Over under. I don't see it. Let's see if it listed. This is just the spread. Here. Total. Here we go. Oh my goodness, it's 48.
Oh, I'm getting on DraftKings.
It's lower. Yeah, Indiana will get 48 by themselves. I can almost guarantee it.
I'm getting on DraftKings after this.
Yep. Wow,
get on your local betting.
That's easy money number, boys and girls. Yeah. So interesting times indeed. So yeah, hopefully we hope it's a good game. As long as, Indiana covers and the spread goes over.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last football game, but Wyoming's got J. Mike in the scouting combine this year, another Wyoming guy, so that may help recruiting.
I didn't see that. So they started releasing.
He's in the Reese's Senior Bowl and the scouting combine, so
okay,
that'll be good for good coverage for Wyoming overall.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff to look forward to. We'll continue covering basketball and wrestling.
Yeah, we will certainly. And we'll hopefully Brian will be back next week and we'll see what he thinks about basketball. So so thank you everybody for joining us tonight. As we said, 2 basketball games coming up on Saturday, and then I think it's Tuesday next week.
Yep.
Is Boise. So we'll be back on our regular night. Wednesday, we'll talk about the wrestling duel. We'll talk about some basketball. We'll talk about Indiana destroying Miami. and we'll see how the portal shakes out. We'll know. The only thing we'll know for sure next week is who's left, and then some guys could still trickle in next week in the portal.
I think.
But for the most part,
answers.
99% of their work is going to be done. So great. So great to see everybody. Thank you for joining us. And until next week, everybody take care and go Pokes.